So as you can see, we have a scene, a city scene, we have a player, and we would like for our player to enter the building. And when they are inside the building, we would like them also to be able to change rooms, for example, bedroom or a bath. So today we are going to create a door system. So let's start by creating our door area. Let's hit Control A to create, and let's create area 2D and add a collision shape to it. Let's give it a simple rectangle shape. Select our rectangle, press F to focus on it. Now let's drag our area into the door. Now we are not able to see the area, so we are going to edit the ordering of the Z index, increase it until we can see it. Now select the collision. And now we can scale the area into our desired shape. To finish it up, we are going to transform and reset our position to center it. Now select the area and we can center it on our door. Now let's add our door animation. Let's select animated sprite 2D and we go to animation, spirit frame, create new spirit frame, select it, and now let's add new animation by pressing the add animation. Let's name it open, and let's add another animation, call it close. Now select our open, select the add frames. We are going to select our door sprites. As you can see, I have already set the sizing. If the sizing is incorrect for your sprites, you can just change it here to adjust it to your own sprites. Now that I have the sprites ready and I am in open animation, so I will select only the sprites that I need for the open animation. So all of the first 5 sprites and add frames. Now when we play the animation, we have an opening door. Now you can see that it is looping, so let's disable looping, and now it will play only once. Let's do the same thing for the close. Go to close, add sprites, select our door animation, select the closing sprites, add frames. And now we have a closing animation. Let's disable the looping, and it plays only once. Great. Now let's move to our area 2D. Let's rename it to door. Add a new script. Let's call it door. Now in our scripts, let's remove the process and the ready and hit save. Now that we have cleared the scripts, we are going to add the signals, body entered and body exited, able to detect whether or whenever the player enters our area. Now, if you are not able to see the area, it's just that we have placed our animated sprites above it. So let's move it up, and now we are able to see the area again. So let's select our area, go to body entered, and double click it. We go to the door, and here we had added the body entered. We do the same thing for the body exited. Go to the door, and we have the 2 signals connected. Now, before we do anything in the script, we are going to the player, and we are going to add them to group, and let's call the group player. And let's set this group to global so that we will be able to add them to any scene. Now back to our door scripts. We are going to check whether the body that entered has the group player. So if body dot is in group, and we name the group player. So whenever the player enters the body, we want to make sure that we keep that info so that when they exit, we are not able to teleport to the other scene. So let's add var player is in, and let's set it to boolean or a bool. Player is in, let's set it to true, and let's do the same thing for exiting. So if body exited is in group player, we will set player is in to false. Now we know that whenever the player touches the area, they are inside, and when they exit, they are outside. So to visualize this or to see it in script, we are going to print player is in, and also the same thing when the player enters the door area. So here we are, as you can see, there is nothing, and when we entered, it is true, and when we exit, it's false. Now let's add a new function, input, and let's say if input dot action just pressed, and let's say interaction, and in our project settings we have set in input map interaction, or is it, here it is, with the button E. Now if we press the button E and the player is in, so and player is in equals to true, then let us teleport. Print teleport. Now when we try our scene, we go to the door, press E, it's teleporting. Now let's go outside of the door, press E, and it's not teleporting. Now before we handle the actual teleportation, we are going to add our door animation to be played whenever the player enters the area. So we are going to export variable, let's call it door animation, and it is type of animated sprite 2D. Now we select our door, go to inspector, and drag our animated sprite into the door animation. Now when the player enters the area, we're going to go door animation dot play, and we called it open. So when we select our sprite animation, as you can see, we have named our animation open. So if you have named it something else, you can just add the name in the play. And when we leave the door animation, the door area, we are going to play the close animation. So when we test our scene, as you can see, the door opens, and when we leave, the door closes. Now to handle the actual teleportation, we are just going to the top of the script, and we are going to add export and file so that we are able to teleport to any scene, and we add the following string star.tscn. Now the tscn is for the, or it is the format for the scenes in Godot. For example, as you can see in here, we have world 1 and world 2 as tscn. We added the star so that any file, the star is any file, and .tscn, so any file of the format scene, we can apply it to this var. So var, we name it scene, and it is a type of string. So this will hold the path to the desired scene that we would like to teleport. So in our inspector, we're gonna click the file, go to our scene, select the scene that we would like to teleport to. So for example, we want to go to the kitchen, select our kitchen scene, and now in our teleportation, I'm just going to go to get tree dot re or change scene to file, and we are going to pass the scene that we have selected. So now when we test our game, you go to the door, press interaction, and we have teleported to our haunted kitchen with auto opening doors. As you can see, we cannot go back. So let's add a door in the kitchen scene. All we have to do is save our stuff here, select our door, Control C to copy it, and go in here and Control V to paste it. Let's select our door, drag it in here. Now, since this door won't work in this scene, we are just going to hide it for now, and we can change the sprite animation into another door. But for now, let's keep it simple and invisible. And we are going to the scene and click, choose our world, which is world number 1. Let's play the scene, go to the door. As you can see, it is true. Press E, and it's not working for some reason. Let's see. Oh, we have not selected the right world, which is this one, Wealth 1. So let's play the scene again, hit the door, and press interact. And as you can see, we are back to our original world. Now, let's add our specific animations for this door. So we go to our animated sprites, to animation, and let's add new sprite frames. Let's rename this one to open, create another one and call it close. Now let's go to open, add frames, and let's select our door opening, which should be door 2, I think. Is on the side. Not this one, no. Would be door, which one? Door 1? Yep, it will be door 1. So, as you can see, we don't have our sizes correctly applied, so we are just going to change it. We have 5 pictures, so let's say 5, and in vertical we only have 1. So we got 0 we select all of them as the opening frames, and when we go to close, select the same door, and we want it to be a close animation, so we are going to select from right to left, the opposite. As you can see, the sprites are numbered, and as you can see, we have to make it visible again. You can see we have a closing animation. Let's remove the loop so it will only play once, and do the same thing for the open. Now all we have to do is align the door. There we go. Now when we play the scene, we have our door. Oh, I have 2 animated sprites, so let's remove the other one, which will be bridge door, this one, right? Nope. Where are you? Here we go. So we're just going to make this invisible. Play again. As you can see, we have an open door. It opens, it closes, opens, and when we press interact, it closes. Now, to make sure that the door is always closed, we just reset the animations by selecting the open animation. Now, as you can see, we have a closed door. When you get near it, it opens, go away, it closes. And we have our teleportation. Now, for the next step, we are going to make sure that when we exit the door, we will spawn at the door's position. To handle the repositioning of the player into the door's position, there are 2 methods, and we are going to use both. The first method is when you have only a single door. For example, in the bath, we have only one door. So we can just select the player and move them to the position of the door so that when they spawn or enter a door to this room, they will spawn at the door's position. The second method, which we will use in scenes that contains more than one door. For example, we have a cafe and a house. We will need to decide which door to exit from. So in order to do that, we will need a doors manager that will handle choosing which door to spawn in. So in order to do that, let's go to our scripts folder, create new scripts, and let's call it door manager. Let's go to our script, erase everything, and create function. Let's call it go to door. Now in this function, we will need two things, which are the scene that we will be going to. That might be the world or the kitchen. For example, we can spawn in this door or in that one in the same scene. So we will need the scene reference and the door's name. So let's go to our script, go and pass in the scene path as a string, and we are also going to pass the door name as string. Now, when we have our scene, we are going to go to get tree dot change scene to file, and we are going to pass the scene file. This is the same as the door script. So in our door script, instead of changing the scene, we are going to the door manager and change the scene. Then we are going to select our player and set their position to the door with the same name. So in order to do that, we go to our door script and we add another export var, and let's call it door name. It is also a string. Now, in our scene, we have this door, and let's give it a door name in the kitchen's name. So in our kitchen, we have door. Let's name it to door to outside. Let's copy the name, go to our door, and let's set it to door to outside. Also go to the kitchen, select our door, and let's give it the name of this door. Let's name this door first. Let's name it door of the house. Copy the name, save, go to our door. Let's name it to door of the house. Now that we have this door name and the scene, instead of changing the scene from here, we will need to change it from the doors manager. So it will change the scene and then set the player's position to the first door with the door's name. In order to do that, we will need a global script. We will need our door manager to be a global script. To do that, we are going to project settings, go to globals, click the folder, and select our doors manager. Now let's rename it to door manager and close. But before that, let's explain what are globals or the auto-load globals. These are objects or scripts that get to be loaded in every single scene. So for example, if we play our kitchen scene and we go to remote, so this is local, which is what is in here, and remote, what is in this window. As you can see, we have our node 2D, same in this. We have everything in there, and we have a door manager, which we added because it was in our project globals. So if we go to the world scene, for example, and we play the scene, you can see we have a remote, we have our world, and our door manager. So globals are objects or scripts that get to be in every single scene. We will need that to keep the data that we pass from scene to another. So let's go to our door manager, and as you can see, we have the scene. Let's go to our door script and remove the get tree.change scene, and let's go door manager. As you can see, we can access it from every script. Dot go to door, and we pass in the scene, and we also pass in the door name. Now let's test our game to see if it's working. We go to the door, press interact, and we are teleported to the desired room. Now, in order for us to be spawned at the door's position, all we have to do is go to our doors, go to node, groups, and add them to group, let's call it door, and set it global so that we can access it in all scenes. Okay, we have a door in here. Now let's go to our kitchen, and the same thing for our door, add it to the doors group. Now, why do we need to add them to the doors group? So that we can access them once the scene has been loaded. So we are going to say await get tree dot timer, create timer of 0.1 dot timeout. So this will just wait for 0.1 seconds and then execute whatever lines of codes we have here. We add this just so that we wait for the whole scene to be loaded. Now we go var all doors, which will be a type of array of node, and it will be equal to get tree dot get nodes in group, and we named our group door. Now let's print our doors. Let's test the scene, play, and when we enter the door, as you can see, we have printed door of the house, which will be this one in our main scene. So now that we have all the doors in our scripts, let's loop through each door, and if we have the door with the name of our desired door, then we select our player and send them to the position of the door. So let's go first get our player, which is var player. Now it is a type of node 2D, and it is equal to get tree dot get first node in group, and we call the group player. Now we loop through each door in all doors, so for x in length of all doors, if all doors x dot name equal to our desired door name. So if the door that we have selected now has the name of our door name, we are going to go player dot global position equals to door x dot global global position. Now let's test our scene and enter the door. And as you can see, the player has changed their position into this door. And if we go again, press interact, now we spawn at the door's position. Now this can work for all types of doors or whatever. So let's add another door as an example or a test. Let's duplicate it with Control D, drag it over here, and let's name it to door of the house 2. Now let's copy the name, go to our kitchen, select our door, inspector, and let's rename the desired door to door of the house number 2. Now let's test our game. And as you can see, when we exit door, we spawn at door number 2. Now that we have the functionality of the doors functional or working, let's add some feedback into the system. So let's select our door. Let's hide this one and create an audio stream player. Now we go to our scripts. Let's create a new var, export var audio player, and it is a type of audio stream player. Now let's also add 2 soundtracks which are called audio stream in Godot, audio stream, and let's call them open door and close door. Now let's assign the values. We drag our audio stream player and let's add our audios that I have added into the project, audio, or rather open. We have our sound. So let's add it to the open door, and let's also add close. Now when we play the scene, the audio is not played. Oh yeah, we did not add the playing into the script, so let's go audio player dot stream equals to open door, because in the body entered we are playing the open animation, so we will also play the open sound and go audio player dot play. We do the same thing for the closing. Let's go audio stream and change it to close door and play the audio. Let's test our scene. And as you can see, the sound is playing. Now, when we change the scene, we run into this error because in our second scene, we did not set up the audio player or the audio sounds. So, pause the game, go to our door, and select our audio player. Go to our open door sound, quick load, and let's select door open. Select our closed door, quick load, and door close. Let's play the scene. And as you can see, the audio is playing. One final thing to add into the door system will be a transition screen, which everything goes black and then back to the scene. So in order to do that, we are going to create a new scene, and let's give it a user interface, or rather, other node canvas layer. Let's call it transition. Let's add a color rect, and we set it to full screen. Now our color is white. We want to change it to black. And we can also add an animation player. So you can add any type of animation you desire for your transition. It can be from the top right corner into the bottom left, or a looping animation, or anything that you desire. So let's create an animation. Let's move, and we'll just name it animation. And for this simple animation, we are going to change the color from black to transparent. And when we play the animation, as you can see, this will be our transition into the scene. So let's save scene and call it transition. Now let's add script to our main transition and keep the same name. Now let's export var animation layer, and it is a type of animation layer. Now let's create a function, call it transit. Now in our function, we would like to call the animation player dot play, and we pass in the name of the animation that we created, which will be animation, or whatever you call the animation. Animation. Now let's assign it. Great. Now let's go to our door manager, or before that, let's make this transition scene global so that it will be accessed in all of our scenes. So we go project settings, globals, select our folder, we go to scene, go to transition, and we keep name as transition add. Now let's all go to our door, and we say before our timer, go to transition dot transit, which is the function that we created here. Now if we go and play the scene, it's pitch black because we have our animation set that when we start it will always be black. So let's go to our reset animation, select our black value and set it to transparent. Save. Now let's test again. As you can see, we have our scene, and when we exit the door, we have our transition. Again, we have our transition. Now you can do whatever you like in this animation. For example, we can extend the duration from 1 second to 2. We move it a bit. Now we copy the dark value, so it will stay dark for some time, and then it will transition back to transparency. Save, play the scene, and as you can see, when we exit the door, we have a dark screen, and it's slowly transiting to our main scene. And with that, we have concluded our door system. If you need any more help or more explanations, please let me know.